Most of the time, if you watch these videos, I'm often commenting on a current event or something I read, and then I try to apply scripture to it or something to your life spiritually. But today I want to share something that I read this morning from the book of Jeremiah, and you can see the references there in the details. That it kind of reminded me of what I've been seeing going on around me. Um, More often, recently, I've been around people who aren't church people. And it's my hope eventually that some of them will become friends, maybe even watch these videos. They already know me as a pastor, so already my reputation is ruined, I guess, in a way. And when they know somebody knows you as a pastor, usually the first thing they do is they cover their mouth or they regret the language they used or whatever, and then they apologize for it. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But do you ever really notice the other people around you? My family and I went to Cedar Point last week, and that is always a great opportunity to notice people. And man, there were all sorts of people there. Anyway, good morning. Good to see you. Today's Friday, August 5th. I want to share just real quick thoughts today. A couple quick jokes as well. A few years ago, you may not know this, but I invented a beach footwear for people with one leg. It was a flop. Anyway. Highlighter pens are going to be a real problem one day. Mark my words. You see, this is the stuff. If you're new here, this is the stuff that you can you look forward to it or you want to skip over it. Anyway, let's get back to this idea of do you notice the people around you? As a pastor, there is a natural tendency, and just it's par for the course, I guess, to be sheltered in this Christian bubble because we're normally around church people a lot. And maybe that's why I notice people outside of the church more often. And like I said, almost every time somebody finds out that I'm a pastor, they apologize for the language. So just a quick help to all of you as you meet a pastor. Probably all pastors have heard bad words before. So it's not shocking. If you have comments on that, maybe you're not a church person. Why do people watch their language around pastors? Is it because they think we're judging them or God is judging them? I've never been able to put that together, but it is always, and just every pastor I know will tell you that same thing. Anyway, as I'm more often around people outside of church, one of the things I have noticed, besides the apologizing for the language, is just a general lack of purpose to their life, a frustration, discouragement, and even hopelessness, I would say. And that's really, it's been tough for me to watch. Because as I was reading Jeremiah this morning, it reminded me of these people that I see. Jeremiah 5, this is actually from The Voice, is the version I'm reading right now. Jeremiah 5:21, this is God speaking. He says, even with eyes and ears, you are still blind and deaf to what is happening. And I think that's really true of what I've been watching. He says, do you not realize who I am? Do you not fear me? Do you not shake in the presence of the eternal, the creator of all things? Verse 24. And he describes these people, says, it never occurs to them to say, let us stand in awe of the eternal, our God. And then chapter later, Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 10, God says their ears are closed. They cannot hear. They're deaf to anything about God. The Eternal's word is offensive to them. They take no delight in it. And those last three thoughts, I could preach those forever. They're deaf to anything about God. And that describes these people that I witness. They don't want anything to do with God, and when they run into a pastor, it's like almost they feel like maybe that's why they want to watch their language. They feel they've come into contact with someone who is holy, and is now they realize that maybe they should have done better. But the Eternal's word is offensive to them. Isn't that true? We argue a lot in this country about are we going to be ruled by political laws, religious ideas, and there's a whole idea of separation of church and state. And I think I'm probably going to talk about that this summer in our summer series that's going on right now. Did God really say? Anyway, then the last part of that verse 10 says, they take no delight in it. They have no time for what God might want to say to them. So here, I want to conclude with this today. As you and I go into the world, my hope is that you will at least take note of the people around you that may need a word of encouragement, the hopelessness that they're carrying around. The people outside of faith and people away from God, the people that Jeremiah is talking about. And that as you see them, it'll break your heart and it will lead you to pray for them and a bolder witness to them. And I know it's been a lot of bad news today, just because that's what Jeremiah is really, but there is good news amidst this. But you're going to have to wait until Monday to hear that, because I'm going to read a passage from 1 Thessalonians that describes what happens. And Paul gives an example of when he actually shared the good news with the people that would have been fit into the description we give today. So anyway, if you're out there, as always, like, comment, share. This Sunday, we'll post this on Monday. Did God really say He just wants me to be happy? We're going to deal with that this Sunday, and maybe you'll find something in there to be able to talk to someone who is outside of faith and needs some hope. Anyway, as always, good to see you. Like, share, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And I'd love to hear from you. God bless, and we'll bring you back to the good news on Monday from 1 Thessalonians.